Hi guys and welcome back. Today's a bit different in terms of type of video. I did something that I've been wanting to do for a while and that I haven't really seen around, and I would love for people to start getting into doing this because I love hearing people's opinions, whether they're right and I agree with them or if they're wrong and I disagree with them. So I'm gonna do a tier list ranking the most common houseplants that I've seen, and just kind of rank them based on how much I like them, how pest resistant they are, how easy they are to care for, and all that sort of stuff. So this isn't going to be a comprehensive list. Obviously, it's kind of impossible to be comprehensive for all the common houseplants. These are just most of the ones that I see most often, and then also just some personal favorites that I have and that I've seen my friends with and all that sort of stuff. So if your favorite houseplant isn't on this list, I'm so sorry, don't take it personally. I just couldn't fit all of them in. And if I have an opinion that's different than yours, that's totally fine. I don't think you're wrong necessarily. Just leave your comments down below because I love to hear from you guys, and I like all the different opinions. They make me like rethink things, and a lot of the plants that I've gotten have actually been because people have advised me to get them because my previous opinion was wrong, or at least wrong in their eyes. So we have just a classic tier list format here, and I'm just going to move these plants down here into the tiers that I think they belong to. Now S tier is probably like the 9 to 10 out of 10 plants, and they're ones that I think are the prettiest, or just, you know, the best looking, and then are also pest resistant, super easy to care for, just all around good plants. A is probably that like 7 to 8 out of 10 range, which is like still good, but just I would probably second guess before I get another one, like a duplicate one. B is that like 5 to 6 range, so we're getting more into like the average, just like okay and all that. And then we have C, which is just the 3 to 4 out of 10 range, and then D, the 1 to 2 out of 10. And let me just preface this by saying none of these plants are necessarily bad. They're just not necessarily my favorite at the moment, because there's lots of plants that I didn't like for quite a while and now I do like, and now I'm actually getting more of. So this isn't a full comprehensive list that's gonna be like forever, this is my opinion. This is just for now. So let's get into it. First up, we have an African violet, and I only recently got an African violet and it's a tiny little one. But I think it's super cute. Mine hasn't bloomed since I got it, but that's because I've been doing pretty bad at taking good care of it. But I think it's super pretty. It's super unique in that it flowers pretty consistently for an indoor plant. That being said, I am probably going to put it in B just because I think it's okay. It's just, you know, I wouldn't fill my house with them, but they are still a good one to have. Next is aglaonemas. And there's so many different varieties of this one, and I don't have one quite yet, but I think they're so pretty and everybody says they're really easy to take care of. So I do believe them. I know the pink ones, I've always seen people have hard times with those, but yeah, I just haven't gotten one yet. So I'm going to put that one in B just because I'm hopefully optimistic about it and it should do well. Now air plants, I don't know that these really count for me as common houseplants, but they have been on every single common houseplant list that I've seen. But I don't really like them, to be completely honest, but there are some that look kind of cool and the versatility of them is quite cool. So I think they have to go and see just because they're not like completely my least favorite in this list, but they're down there. Aloe vera, I love the look of, but it just doesn't do it for me. And I know lots of people that have had hard times with aloe vera, but then I know lots of people that have had easy times taking care of aloe vera. That being said, I'm gonna put it in D. I'm sorry if you guys love aloe vera. I like it for sunburns, but I've never been like, ooh, I really need an aloe vera for my space. Next is bromeliads, and I'm just straight up to D. I don't really like bromeliads. I think they kind of look like monsters, kind of like those Jumanji plants. And they've never really, I don't know, they're kind of like doctor's office plants as well. They're like the fake ones, and you can never tell if they're fake or real, and it's just not really the look I like. But that being said, like again, I said it a million times already, but if you like them, I'm so sorry, but these are just my opinions. Calathea, all the Calathea I've gotten have gotten spider mites, but I love Calathea. I don't have any right now, but I debate it every single time I see it, and I have to remind myself that I can't do spider mites again. So I do have to put it in B just because the look. I think this is a corn plant, and I think it's in the Dracaena family, and I think that's a C because I've seen some that I like, but they're not like, no. Croton, I don't know how we say that. That's going into D. I don't like those very much. The color kind of throws me off a bit, and I might find one that I really like, but they just look kind of sick to me. Like, not in the good way, like, oh, that's sick, but like they look like there's something wrong with them. So I don't know. Yeah, and every single person that I've seen that has one that keeps them indoors, because I think a lot of them thrive outdoors. All the ones that I've seen that are indoors, they're not doing too hot for people. So I'm just gonna leave it at D, I think. Next is the Dieffenbachia, and there's a lot of different kinds of these, and I didn't like them initially, to be completely honest. I would see them in every single plant store, and I just never really liked them very much. But then I saw some really pretty pictures of them that were some really mature Dieffenbachia, and they were so pretty. So these are only actually a recent, like, want of mine. So since they are actually on my new wish list that I have, and I'll make a video about that later because I will be updating my wish list again because I've gotten a lot of the ones on there. But this is definitely going to make it onto one of my newer wish lists. So that is the first addition to A tier. Next is English Ivy, and English Ivy, first of all, that's going to D, at the bottom of D, and I'm so sorry once again, but this one I almost have like a personal, this plant's existence, I take it personally. So it's just, it's fine in that it gets really full and it vines a lot and all that, and that's great, but is this not just like the most common fake houseplant that you see people have? And like, not necessarily just people, but I feel like this was in our homes growing up, like in the early 2000s, late 90s kind of age. I feel like these were the fake houseplants to have in your house, and they just, you know, every time I think English Ivy, I think of super fake plastic, dust covered leaves, and just very, I don't know. I've never been a fan, and they are like, as much as Calatheas attract spider mites, these ones are a million times worse in my opinion. So I just don't want to bring that into my house because I'm so scared that I'm gonna be overrun with spider mites one day, and this English Ivy seems like the thing that would do that to me. Anyways, I'm so sorry about anybody who loves English Ivy. The next one is rubber trees. This is gonna encapsulate, you know, Ficus tinnicky, rubber ficus, and rubber ficus, the ruby Ficus elastica, and the burgundy Ficus elastica. This one, S tier. That's going to S tier. I love all mine that I had. I haven't had the tinnicky, and wait, I have had it once, but I got it for a friend, so it wasn't necessarily mine. But yeah, I like all of them, and they have been super good for me. Fiddle leaf fig, on the other hand, I love the look of, but I'm just so scared of taking care of those because I've never seen anybody in real life take care of them very well. I've seen like random influencers that somehow have really big thriving ones that, and they like when they're asked about it, and these are not houseplant influencers, these are just like, you know, like mom influencers and like family kind of channels and that sort. They always have these massive fiddle leaf figs, and they're like, I don't do anything to it, I just leave it there, I don't even water it, and it's just like they're thriving. So I am just terrified to get one, so that's gonna go to C. Probably the top of C though, because it's better than air plants in my opinion. Heartleaf philodendron, straight up to S. We all know I love those. And there's just so many different kinds. So that's gonna be up there, and that's gonna stay up there probably forever. Next is Hoya compacta. And this one I included because I have a Hoya general category in here that's next actually, but I had to include Hoya compacta because this is the outlier for Hoyas in my opinion. I used to really dislike Hoyas, but I've actually come around to them quite a bit, so you guys will be so proud of me. But the Hoya compacta, I think they look super cool, but I know that these are mealybug attractor plants, and so that's another one I'm terrified to have in my house. So that is going to go to probably the before air plants, so C, but better than air plants. So yeah, I like the look, and especially the variegated Hoya compactas. Those are so pretty, but I can't do it with the mealybugs, to be honest, and it just seems like a pain to clean, and I just can't do it. Now regular Hoyas, this one is a Crimson Queen, but I have a Publicalyx and a Crimson Princess, which I didn't used to like the Crimson Princess, but I've got a little baby one and it's actually really cute. So this is actually going to be top of A right now, just because I haven't had it long enough to be S tier. I think if I got an Obovata, that would be S tier, but for now, all the general Hoyas, A tier, top of A though. And next, this is a picture of a jade plant, but it's meant to be like all regular succulents, you know, like the traditional kind of succulents, with the exception of string of pearls and like string of hooks and bananas and dolphins and all the string of things other than string of hearts. We have a separate one for that. But this is just succulents that are like the little tiny succulents that hardly do much, you know, like the traditional, here's a houseplant warming gift, all that sort of stuff, succulent, that type. That I have never liked, and that's probably going to go to bottom of C, only because they're not hideous in my mind, so that's going to go there. Bamboo, I think looks, this is the lucky bamboo, I think it looks super cool. I have never really wanted it necessarily, but it is something that I would put in my house if I had the space and like kind of found a space for it. So that's probably going to go right below air plants, actually. Right below air plants, before Dracaena. Actually, after Dracaena, before succulents though. Next is Monstera adansonii. I love Monstera adansonii. I think it looks so cute. I had one before and it wasn't doing it for me at the time, and now I kind of wish I kept it, but it didn't have, I think it was the narrow form, and I think these big wide leaves would be better. So it's gonna go bottom of B. Actually, let's put that above Calathea just because they're a bit easier to take care of than Calathea. Next is Monstera deliciosa, and I really like and have grown to really like the Monstera deliciosa. I didn't used to at the start because I was like, oh, it's so overrated. Everybody has that. That's traditional when you get a houseplant. That's the one that you have. But it's so pretty, and it's just, you can't argue that it is just a good staple to have. I have a baby one right now, so it's nowhere near being this really big Monstera. But I'm gonna put that in A tier, probably after the Hoya. And then the Norfolk Pine is next. And this one is one that I've been wanting to get just as a Christmas tree, but I don't know how that would work, but I think I'm gonna maybe do that this year or next. But I just haven't gotten around to it, but it's another wish list, so that's going after the Dieffenbachia because I do want the two of those. Next is peace lily, and peace lilies are so pretty. I love the foliage. I don't love flowers though on plants necessarily. The African violet is an exception, but I usually don't love flowering plants. And peace lilies, I've seen so many people have issues with peace lilies, so it's just kind of scared me and put me off of getting one. That being said though, it is super pretty. It's gonna probably be in the same category as fiddle leaf fig though, because I would get one, but I'm scared that I won't be able to take care of it. And then next is the Peperomia Obstafolia, which I love. It is just kind of like a, yeah, it's a nice plant type plant. It's not like, oh my gosh, that is the best plant in the world type plant. So he will go top of B tier, I think, because he's good, but he's not like, I love that plant. I really, really want that plant. And then Peperomia Ripple, same deal, right there with Peperomia Obstafolia. And now the Philodendron, like this encompasses the Philodendron that grow like in the cane kind of formation rather than vining or that sort. So, you know, you have Philodendron Birkin, Philodendron, Philodendron Prince of Orange, and my Macaulay's Finale that's struggling, all that. This is those kind of Philodendron, which I really like. I think they look really cool, but that's gonna go probably right under the Monstera because they can make a really good statement like floor piece when they get really big and mature, like this one is in that picture. Next is the Pilea Peperom, I don't know how to say it actually. Anyways, they call it the Chinese money plant. I think it's super cute, and I love that it grows so many like pups so quickly. So it's just one of those plants that just keeps on giving and multiplies like crazy. Another wishlist plant, probably the same in line with these two. I just haven't found the right one yet. And then next with ponytail palm trees, I don't usually like palm trees at all, really. But the ponytail kind of looks cute, and especially in this picture, I just like the overall like vibe of that space. It's just very warm, very natural and all that. So that's another one. I think he'll sit in B tier, probably at the bottom of B tier, just because he is a good one. Next is just all of your Pothos. I mean, Pothos has to go up to S tier. Bottom of S tier, just because although I like them, they're not like, you know, they're okay. Yeah, they're good as far as like great plants go, but they don't stand a chance against the heartleaf, really. They're equal, but that's like the prettier sister, the heartleaf, you know? Next is I think it's called umbrella plant. I think the proper name is like Schefflera or something like that, but this one in particular in this picture is really pretty, but these ones have been known to get scale so much, so that's another one that I'm kind of just scared of taking care of, so he's gonna go right next to the peace lily and fiddle leaf fig. Next is snake plant, which if you've watched any of my videos, I'm sure you've gathered that I'm not the biggest fan of snake plant, but I'm thinking about trying it again because I grew to like Hoyas, so I think I can grow to like snake plants as well. I think I just need a smaller size of it, but anyways, I digress. We need a snake plant placement here. And this one is notoriously easy to take care of, but it's just, I'll put them up here because I will try again, and I do think they look really nice. I like faster growing plants, but I've heard people finding some that do grow really quickly, so I might give it another go. Spider plants, I don't like. I'm sorry, I don't like spider plants. So they're going down there, but not as bad as English ivy. They're probably at the top of D, so close to C. I just don't really like spider plants. They look a bit messy to me, and I've never seen one that looks very neat and pretty, so they're down there. String of hearts, top of S tier, in front of the rubber tree. It has to be. I mean, I wouldn't be able to continue my channel if I didn't put it up there. They're just great all around, all the different varieties. They're fantastic. And then next is the Arrowhead plant, which can look really cool. Mine got thrips when I had one, so I have a personal not hate, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said hate. I have a personal dislike for Arrowhead plants, so they are going to go, yeah, probably down here, definitely top of this tier because they are really pretty and there's some really cool versions of them, but I can't go back right now. It will take more time to heal. Same with this trailing jade plant, which is super pretty, this one. This is going to encapsulate all of the string of pearls, string of, you know, bananas, string of dolphins, all that sort of stuff. All the trailing succulents is in this picture basically. And my string of pearls died, so I don't have the best experience with that, but this one is really pretty, so I would give it a second go, and I would give string of pearls a second go as well. So I'm gonna put this up here probably before the fiddle leaf because I feel like it'd be easier to take care of than the fiddle leaf. And then last we have the ZZ plant, which I used to have a Raven ZZ and I really liked it. It just didn't grow very fast. But I am wanting a bigger regular ZZ plant, so that is another like wish list type plant. So that is gonna go, I think, before the Dieffenbachia and after the Pilea. So that is probably my list, and that's probably, I'd say that's pretty accurate, to be honest. It makes it look like I really don't like some of these plants down here since there's so many stacked in like the C column and everything. But I mean, like I said, I would have all of these in my house happily, other than probably D tier. But yeah, I'm happy with how that sits. But yeah, that's all for the list. And I know this, like I said, was a bit different than the content that I usually do. So if you enjoyed this type of different content, let me know down in the comments below. And if you did enjoy, please hit the thumbs up button so I know. And thank you guys so much for sticking around. And thanks for watching. I'll see you later.